customer asks a simple question, but the agent has to hunt through old emails, shared folders, and somebody's spreadsheet while the customer waits on the line. That's where Dynamics 365 Knowledge Management comes in. Think of it as the shared filing cabinet for your support team. Approved answers live in one place instead of inside people's heads. It's a central library where every article is reviewed and approved before it reaches the team. I'm Mirko Peters from M365 FM, and this is a Microsoft Knowledge Nugget. You'll see how articles, search, access, feedback, and daily support work fit together. First, though, let me show you the raw problem this solves. It's bigger than you might think. Why teams need a shared knowledge base. Imagine a new support agent starts on Monday. By Tuesday, or just 2 days in now, they're answering questions about returns, billing, account access, and product rules that took your experienced team years to learn. They might ask a colleague for help, but that colleague could be busy. And if they do interrupt, the colleague loses focus on their own work. So they search old emails, but an email from 2 years ago might have an answer that's now wrong because a policy changed. This is how support knowledge grows without anyone planning it. It's messy and unreliable. One person keeps notes in a document. Another saves useful messages in a mailbox folder. Someone else just knows because they've handled the same customer problem 50 times before. The answer exists, but finding it eats up valuable time, and that time adds up across the whole team. While the agent searches, the customer's frustration builds. Customers notice that delay immediately. Every second of silence feels like an eternity. They hear typing, then, "Can I place you on hold for a moment?" Or worse, they receive a guess because the agent wants to be helpful, but doesn't have a trusted answer in front of them. Nobody wants that. Here's the thing. The modern customer doesn't care how your team is organized inside. They just want a consistent answer every time. Customer service moves quickly, and people expect the same answer whether they call, email, chat, or visit your website. If one agent explains a return policy one way and another gives a different version, the customer doesn't see an internal knowledge problem. They see a company that can't agree with itself. A shared knowledge base gives the team one approved place to look. So instead of relying on memory, agents find guidance the business has checked and agreed on. That means the answer stays consistent even when different people handle the customer. That helps experienced agents too. Think about it. If you're the expert on returns, you answer the same question 3 times a day. That's a waste of your expertise. When the same question appears every day, an expert can spend hours repeating the same answer. With a good article, they write the guidance once, review it when things change, and let the whole team use it. The focus moves from repeating answers to improving them. You'll also notice patterns more clearly. If 10 customers ask how to change a delivery address, that might mean the website instructions are unclear. If agents keep searching for a billing rule and can't find it, the team knows an article is missing. Repeated questions aren't just noise. They tell you where customers and agents get stuck and give you a practical list of topics that need clear guidance. A knowledge base becomes the company's working memory, keeping useful know-how available when someone takes leave, changes jobs, joins the team, or simply forgets a detail during a busy afternoon. That doesn't mean every answer should become a long document. In fact, long documents often create the same problem all over again because people still can't spot the one sentence or step they need. Good knowledge gives people a direct answer, clear steps, and enough context to handle the situation safely. So, Dynamics 365 Knowledge Management brings this shared memory into the same customer service world where your support team handles daily work. It's not a separate tool to learn now. It's embedded into the tools agents already use every day. What Dynamics 365 Knowledge Management actually is. So what does Dynamics 365 Knowledge Management actually give you? Here's the simplest definition. It gives your team a single place to create, organize, review, find, and improve help articles, all while they're working with customers. An article is a focused piece of guidance. It might answer something like, how do I change my billing address? Or explain what an agent should check before approving a refund, including the policy link and steps for a special case. Now, this isn't just a shared folder full of Word files and PDFs. A folder can store information, but you often need to know the file name before you can find the answer. Dynamics 365. Knowledge management works more like a reference desk inside your customer service department. Each answer has a title, a subject, and labels that help the right person find it when they need it. Think of a large office building. Your support team works at the customer service desks, dealing with calls, emails, and cases. Somewhere nearby sits a staffed reference desk. Behind that desk, there are clearly labeled folders with answers for billing, delivery, account access, product setup, and company rules. That reference desk is your knowledge base. The articles inside are like those folders, but they aren't all written the same way. A simple article might start with a short answer for the agent, then list the exact steps. Another might include links to a policy, a screenshot of what the customer sees, or a related article for the next likely question. And the goal isn't to write a textbook. It's to help someone handle one customer problem correctly without making them read 5 pages that only partly relate to the case in front of them. This ties directly into the work agents already do in Dynamics 365 customer service. When an agent opens a customer case, they don't have to leave that work area, open another site, and start a separate search through old documents. They can look for knowledge while they read the customer's issue, then open guidance that fits the question. That keeps the conversation moving. A case tells the agent what happened, and a knowledge article helps them decide what to do next. Put those two pieces together, and the person helping the customer has context and approved guidance in the same place. Now, some knowledge belongs only inside the company. For example, an article might explain internal checks before an agent changes account details or list steps for passing a difficult case to another team. Customers should never see that kind of guidance. Other articles can answer customer questions directly through a self-service site. A customer might search for instructions on updating contact details, understanding an invoice, or resetting a password before they contact support. Same knowledge system, different audiences. That means your team can control which articles agents can read and which articles customers can read. The public version should use customer-friendly words and safe instructions, while the internal version can include the work steps that only staff need. A lot of people think knowledge management is only for huge call centers with hundreds of agents, but a small support team can benefit just as much. If 4 people answer the same questions, they still need clear answers. In fact, a smaller team often feels the pain sooner because one person leaving for a week can take a lot of practical know-how with them. Dynamics 365, knowledge management gives that know-how a home, a structure, and a way for people to use it during real customer work. Next, let's follow a single question from the moment someone spots a missing answer to the point where the team can rely on it. Thus, the life of a knowledge article. So a knowledge article usually starts with a gap. Maybe an agent receives a question about a product return, searches the knowledge base, and finds nothing they trust. Or perhaps the same question keeps appearing in cases, but every agent handles it a little differently. That's the moment to create an article. You want to start with the words customers actually use because those words will often become the words agents type into search. If customers ask, "Why can't I see my refund?" a title like "Check the status of a customer refund" gives the team a much better starting point than something vague like "finance process." And keep the first answer short. An agent under pressure needs to see the main point quickly, then follow the detail only when they need it. So an article might begin with one sentence that explains when a refund should appear, followed by checks the agent needs to complete before giving the customer an answer. Then write the steps in the order people need them. What should the agent check first? Which screen should they open? What information must they confirm with the customer? When should they stop and send the case to another team? Clear steps remove guesswork. A good article also separates what the customer can do from what only an employee can do. You might include a link to a public help page for the customer, while the internal version explains what the agent should check behind the scenes before they close the case. Pictures can help too, especially when someone needs to find a button or recognize a message on a screen. But don't add pictures just to fill space. If a picture doesn't help someone complete a step, leave it out. Screens change, and every image creates another thing the article owner needs to keep current. Once the draft has the right answer, it needs labels. Categories tell people the general subjects such as billing, delivery, accounts, or product setup. Keywords catch the different words people use for the same problem. A customer may say money back, while an employee searches for refund. Both should lead to the same article. Language matters too. If your team supports customers in more than one language, each audience needs instructions they can read and use with confidence. You can also connect related products and related articles, so a person who solves one problem can quickly find the next piece of guidance without starting from scratch. Then comes the review. The person writing an article may understand the customer problem very well, but they might not own the policy behind it. A subject expert checks that the advice is correct. An article owner decides whether the content is ready for use and who should be able to read it. This step protects both the team and the customer. Imagine an agent writes helpful steps for changing an address, but those steps skip an identity check required by company policy. The article may sound clear and friendly, yet it could create a security problem if people follow it exactly as written. Approval catches that before the article reaches the service desk. After approval, you publish the article to the right audience. Some articles go to employees only. Others can appear on a customer self-service site. The same customer question may need 2 versions, because staff need internal instructions while customers need simple, safe actions they can take themselves. But publishing isn't the finish line. Products change, company rules change, a button moves, a payment process changes. If nobody checks the article, yesterday's correct answer can send someone down the wrong path next month. That's why articles need an owner and a review date. Think of each article like a paper file moving across a service desk. First, it receives a clear label so people can find it. Then an expert stamps it as checked. It goes into the current file drawer where staff can rely on it. When the process changes, you don't leave the old file on the desk beside the new one. You update the article, keep track of the previous version, and retire content that no longer belongs in daily work. That way, people don't pick an old answer just because it happened to appear first. A knowledge base gets better through this cycle. Spot the missing answer, write clear guidance, check it, publish it, then revisit it when the work changes. But even a well-written article can't help anyone if it stays hidden when a customer needs an answer. Finding knowledge while helping a customer. So what does this look like in practice? Here's the moment this system really proves its value. A customer contacts support because they don't understand a charge on their latest bill. They're frustrated and want an answer now, and the agent has the case open in Dynamics 365. The case gives the agent useful context, the customer's account, the type of charge, and the words the customer used to describe the problem. From that same work screen, the agent can search the knowledge base. They might search for duplicate charge or invoice question, and the search engine looks through article titles, content categories, and labels to bring back guidance that fits the case. And that saves a lot of switching around. Without this integration, an agent would copy a phrase from the case, open a separate site, search a shared drive, and hope the answer still applies. But with knowledge connected directly to customer service, the search starts right where the work happens. Now, a long list of results doesn't solve the problem. An agent doesn't need 10 articles that vaguely mention billing. They need one current article that explains the exact charge, the checks to perform, the words to use with the customer, and when to pass the case to someone else. One good result beats a pile of almost right results. That's why clear article titles and useful search words matter so much. An article called Billing Information gives people very little to work with, while a title like Explain a Duplicate Monthly Subscription Charge tells the agent immediately whether they've found the right guidance. Categories narrow the search too. Categories like billing, account access, delivery, returns, and product setup act as broad signposts. Once the agent enters the right area, the article title and opening lines help them decide if it fits this customer situation. Dynamics 365 can also suggest articles based on what appears in a case. That sounds helpful, and it can be, but the system doesn't replace the person reading the case. A suggested article may match a word in the customer's message while missing the actual problem. The agent still needs to read the guidance, check the account details, and decide whether it applies. Think of it like getting a few possible answers during a quiz. The answers narrow the work, but you still need to choose the one that fits the question. Customer service works the same way, especially when billing rules, account history, or special customer needs change the next step. Let's stick with that billing example. The agent searches for the charge type and opens an approved article about duplicate subscription payments. The first part tells them to check whether the customer has more than one active subscription. Next, it explains how to confirm the payment dates and what to tell the customer if the second charge came from a separate account. Then the article gives a clear next step if the charges truly match. Maybe the agent can begin a refund process, or maybe another team needs to check the payment record first. Either way, the agent doesn't invent a response while the customer waits. They follow the company's approved process, explain what will happen next, and record the outcome in the case. The customer gets a clearer answer, the agent gets less pressure, and the team can see which guidance helped solve the case. Knowledge also helps before a customer reaches an agent. A self-service site gives customers a place to search for simple answers, like how to update contact details, find an invoice, or reset account access. When the instructions solve the problem, the customer can carry on without opening a support request. That doesn't mean every issue belongs in self-service. A locked account with unusual activity, a disputed payment, or a customer who needs personal help still needs a real person. Knowledge management supports good service, but it doesn't turn customer care into a list of canned replies. People still listen and use judgment. The knowledge base gives them a trusted starting point right when the customer needs one, but that library only stays useful when someone keeps the content clear, safe, and current. Keeping knowledge accurate, safe, and useful. A knowledge base can become unreliable surprisingly fast. Someone publishes a helpful answer, a process changes 6 months later, and nobody returns to the article. The old steps remain easy to find, so agents keep following them because they assume published guidance is still correct. That's why every article needs a clear owner, someone who knows who can check the facts, update the content, and decide when it no longer belongs in use. The article owner doesn't need to write every word alone. A support agent may spot the problem, a product team member may know the product rule, and a finance expert may confirm a billing step. Still, one person needs to own the final article and keep it on a review schedule. Without an owner, everybody assumes somebody else will fix it. Approval gives you a safety check before guidance reaches agents or customers. A draft may contain the right general idea, but miss a step that protects an account, follows a company policy, or handles an exception properly. That's especially important when an article tells someone how to change personal details, discuss payments, or access an account. A reviewer checks the wording, confirms the process, and decides whether the article is ready. The team can then trust that an approved article has gone through more than one person's memory. Permissions matter too. Not everybody should edit every article, and not every article should appear in front of every reader. An agent may need internal instructions for checking a customer account, while the customer only needs safe steps they can take on their own. Dynamics 365 lets you control that access. You can decide who writes drafts, who approves them, who publishes them, and who can see internal-only content. That keeps private work steps away from public pages while still giving agents what they need during a case. Then you need to listen to the people using the articles. An agent might find an article but notice that step 4 no longer matches the screen. A customer may read a self-service article and still contact support because the instructions feel unclear. Someone may search 3 times and find nothing that answers the question. Those moments are useful signals. Feedback tells the content owner where guidance works, where it confuses people, and where a new article may be needed. Search misses matter as well. If people keep looking for change delivery address but no article appears, the knowledge base has shown you a gap in plain sight. Repeat cases can point to the same gap. When the same issue keeps reaching the service team, check whether an article exists, whether people can find it, and whether the steps actually solve the problem. The answer may need better wording, a clearer title, or a new process behind the scenes. Keep the writing simple. Use titles that describe the customer's problem, put one topic in each article, write short steps in the order people follow them, and use plain words instead of internal terms that only long-time employees understand. A team can publish hundreds of articles and still leave agents searching. Volume isn't the goal. Useful current answers are the goal, and that takes regular review, clear ownership, and feedback from people doing the work. Let's put all of that into one customer situation. A simple end-to-end example. Let me walk you through a real scenario. A customer calls in because they cannot access their online account. They click the password reset link, but no email arrives. They try again, still nothing. Now they really frustrated how they need to place an order and cannot sign in. The agent opens the case in Dynamics 365 and searches for our password reset email not received. An approved article appears right away, and the title clearly covers what is going on. The agent knows this is the right answer. The article starts with a checklist. Confirm the email address on the account. Check whether the account is temporarily locked. Ask the customer to look in their junk mail folder. It even gives the agent safe wording for each step, so they can explain everything without sharing private account details. Say the reset email still does no, T show up. The article spells out exactly what to do next, including when to send the case to the account support team. No vague advice like try again later. The customer needs to know what happens next and who owns the issue. The agent follows the approved steps, records what they checked, and links the article to the case. But during the call, they notice something missing. The article tells customers to check junk mail, but it does mention that some work email systems block the reset message before it even reaches that folder. That note goes back to the article owner. After checking with the right team, the owner updates the article with a short extra step about work email filtering. Future agents see the clearer guidance, and the public customer version can include a safe version of the same advice. Think of the service desk as one connected workspace. The case holds the customer TMPS issue. The knowledge base holds the approved guidance. Internal instructions stay with staff, while a controlled public area gives customers answers they can safely use themselves. One customer question exposed a missing detail, and the next customer gets a better answer. Conclusion. One shared answer. Dynamics 365 Knowledge Management gives your support team a single place for answers everyone can trust while they help customers. Subscribe on your favorite podcast platform for more Microsoft knowledge nuggets with me, Mirko Peters from M365 FM. Share this episode with someone building a Dynamics 365 support team, then watch the next guide to see how the connected platform fits together.